When I went freelance, I didn't leap. It was more like falling backward off the roof of a building, in that there was nowhere else to go. I began my career as an employee in my 20s, and I had somehow decided that being productive was all that mattered. I spent at least 95% of my time between 25 and 40 years old working long hours at a full-time job and working a second job and teaching as an adjunct or volunteering or going to grad school or spending time on some made-up tasks that I valued more than my own peace. Sometimes I took on multiple distractions just to fill any crack that light could possibly shine through. And while there has been a benefit to me professionally to having lived a life dedicated to the singular purpose of gathering skills and knowledge, overall, it was poor planning at best. Choosing productivity over purpose put me in a position where I was looking for a job to do what it wasn't intended to do, and that was to be everything. Look, I don't know who needs to hear this, but no one part of your life, whether it's your work, your relationship, your children, other people's children, can support the weight of your whole life. Now, those are fragile things that can collapse under too much pressure. And so, eventually, I burned out. Of course, I didn't know that. And simultaneously, or perhaps because of, I found myself at a job that was more fragile than the ones before it, and everything crashed. And so this is what I knew. I knew I had to work for someone. I changed jobs a lot, and I recognize how truly fortunate I was to get each one. I also recognize that frequent job switching is something people often hold against you as if it were a moral failure. But shaped by experiences that happened way before you knew I existed, I was doing the best I could. But I had reached the point where I just couldn't go through the ritual anymore. I had to somehow release myself from this, save myself from this. I don't know what the right word is. All I knew was the only other option from what I could see or was willing to see was to work for myself. And so I let go, and boy, did I hit the ground running. So over time, my life became fuller. My focus shifted and clarity arrived for the first time. And as the revelations poured in about who I was and what I had done, I realized that while I was running forward, I was still facing backward. I was only trying to distance myself from the past, but I wasn't running toward anything, just away. Soon I'd run so far away that time, distance, perspective, and a whole lot of healing made it harder to rationalize the choice to spend my time freelancing. I began to consider the possibility, for the first time, that perhaps the past wasn't that bad. And while a part of me grieved for the corporate career that could have been, I had also arrived at a place on my path where I knew it was in my power to make a choice. And I chose to stop running and turn around. And all I saw was the bright, vigorous light of possibility that lit up a world I didn't know, but that I could perhaps shape the way I saw fit. And so I walked toward it. So, did I save myself? Well, in 2018, I was speaking at a conference, and I ran into an ex-coworker from a job I had in the early 2000s. It was the job I stayed at the longest, but it certainly wasn't for lack of trying to leave. He asked me what I was doing, and I explained that I was freelancing and such, and he stared at me until I finally stopped talking. And then he said, "You look happy. You look happy." That evening I sat in my hotel room on the bed, quiet. "You look happy, you look happy." I guess so. I am. I saved myself. Yes, that's definitely the right word. But it wasn't freelancing that saved me. I feel saved because of after years of running, looking for a life, I finally stopped and just made one. So all that to say that just running from how much you don't like working as an employee will not motivate you for long. It's running to something of your very own that makes it all worth it. So, the question for you is, what is that something? Where is it? Where are you going?